At 3:46 a.m., deep over the Dnipro River, a Russian convoy stretches for miles, 300 armored vehicles shimmering under the floodlights. To Moscow, it's a show of unstoppable power. To Ukraine, it's an opportunity. Every radar says they're safe. Every soldier believes they're untouchable. But what no one on that bridge realizes is that they're being watched, not from the sky, but from beneath their feet. Because hiding under the steel girders, disguised as rested equipment, 12 silent machines are waiting. And when they wake up, this invincible convoy will vanish in less than 5 minutes. It's 2:15 a.m. on the Dnipro River. A Russian staff officer leans back in his seat, proud, confident. Ahead of him, 5 miles of steel and firepower roll across the bridge, the largest convoy Russia has moved in months. Over 300 vehicles, carrying enough ammunition to resupply 10,000 troops on the southern front. This wasn't just a convoy, it was a message. Moscow's bargaining chip for the upcoming peace talks in Washington, a massive show of strength meant to pressure Ukraine into submission. On paper, this fortress on wheels was impenetrable. Mobile Pantsir S-1 systems guarded it like sentinels, the radar arrays spinning across the sky. Above them, the Nebo M radar, a machine so powerful it could track a baseball from nearly 200 miles away. In that moment, every Russian soldier believed one thing: they were untouchable. But confidence in war is often the most dangerous illusion, because while every radar eye was searching the heavens, no one thought to look down. Beneath the bridge's concrete skeleton, hidden in the shadows, something small and terrifyingly smart was waiting. Clamped to the cold steel girders beneath the bridge, a swarm of drones lies in absolute silence. To the untrained eye, they look like rusted maintenance tools, forgotten relics of bridge repair. But inside those shells sleep 12 Khajak REBOff FPV drones, each barely the size of a shoebox and costing less than $600. They've been there for 72 hours, dormant, invisible, and waiting. Unlike most drones, these aren't flown by anyone. There's no pilot hiding behind a screen, no radio signal to jam. Each one runs on autonomous AI, guided not by GPS, but by the structure of the bridge itself, mapping every beam, every bolt, every curve like digital predators memorizing their cage. The plan is simple but ruthless. If this convoy crosses safely, Russia's southern front is reborn. 10,000 soldiers resupplied, morale restored, and Moscow gains the upper hand in negotiations. If it doesn't, the entire region runs out of ammunition within 3 days. High above, the Russians' radars sweep the sky, looking for threats that don't exist. But the real danger isn't miles above their heads, it's inches below their boots. Then, as Ukrainian AI predicted to the second, the trap tightens itself. The convoy begins to slow, not because of strategy, but because of something far more pathetic: cheap tires. The endless strain of the journey has shredded Russia's infamous low-quality rubber, creating a bottleneck directly above the drone's kill zone. Miles away, in a dim Ukrainian command post, an operator watches the convoy grind to a crawl on his screen. His breathing slows. The signal is ready. He presses a single key. For the first time, the bridge breathes. 12 faint green lights blink to life beneath its belly, and the ghosts wake up. At 3:46 a.m., the convoy is halfway across the bridge. Engines rumble in rhythm. Steel plates groan under 80,000 tons of military hardware. To the soldiers inside their trucks, it's routine. To the drones below, it's symphony, the sound they were born to hunt beneath. Then, in the cold darkness under the bridge, the first electromagnetic clamp releases with a soft click. For exactly 1 second, each drone free falls through the air, and then their brushless motors ignite, catching them inches above the water surface. Their whine is high frequency, sharp but perfectly masked by the low, heavy roar of the convoy above. No one hears them. No one looks down. The 12 drones form into 3 autonomous strike groups. 1, 6 head for the ammunition trucks in the convoy's vulnerable center. 2, 4 target the fuel tankers near the rear. 3, 2 lock onto the command and control vehicles leading the column. Their navigation isn't guesswork. Using LiDAR, they map the underside of the bridge in real time, adjusting hundreds of times per second as they weave through steel beams and concrete pillars, unseen, unstoppable, alive. Up on the bridge, a radio operator checks in. Checkpoint Charlie reached. Convoy 50% across. No threats detected. Below him, his death sentence is gliding silently through the shadows. But the mission now hangs by a thread, not because of the machines, but because of the humans. All it would take is one bored Russian soldier leaning over the bridge's edge at the wrong second, and the entire plan collapses. At 3:47:15 a.m., the drones are just 900 yards from their designated ascent points. Perfect execution, perfect timing, and then the unpredictable happens. Inside a cramped Pantsir S1 command truck, a junior lieutenant spots a flicker on his radar. Not a target, just noise. The kind of glitch you ignore 99 times out of 100. But tonight, he doesn't ignore it. He trusts his gut, and that decision is about to change everything. Inside the cramped command truck of a Pantsir S1, the air smells of coffee and diesel. The junior lieutenant leans closer to his radar screen. There, again, a flicker, a faint echo under the bridge, like static on an old TV. His captain waves it off. Ignore it, probably interference from the river. But the lieutenant hesitates. Something about the signal feels alive. He switches from passive to active pulse mode, flooding the underside of the bridge with electromagnetic energy. And suddenly, his screen lights up like a Christmas tree. Perfect target lock. He doesn't ask for permission. He doesn't wait for confirmation. He squeezes the trigger. A 57 E6 missile worth $150,000 screams off its rails, a white streak cutting through the darkness. 30 feet below the bridge, it slams into a $50 decoy drone that had been silently activated seconds earlier. The explosion rips through the air, lighting up the river like daylight. The result? Spectacular. The effect? Useless. But that one useless explosion just changed the battlefield. Contact! Contact! Explosion under the bridge. The convoy's radio network erupts in panic. Red warning lights flash, truck engines screech to a halt. In seconds, the 5-mile convoy turns into a gridlocked nightmare, trapped right over the kill zone. The soldiers scramble for cover, shouting into radios, trying to make sense of a ghost they can't see. And beneath them, the ghosts are listening. The element of surprise is gone. The Ukrainians have been exposed. But this isn't a human crew panicking under pressure. It's an AI system, cold and calculating. The drones instantly switch tactics. They execute a beam maneuver, turning sideways to the radar's line of sight. To the Pantsir's sensors, their movement vanishes. It's as if the drones never existed. To the lieutenant's radar, the screen goes from chaos to nothing. A second later, one of the drones activates its onboard jammer. The radar's display turns to blinding white noise, pure electronic blindness. The Russians can't see, can't aim, can't think. In that instant, the Ukrainian AI makes a counterintuitive decision. It doesn't attack. Instead, the drones glide back under the bridge's steel belly, silent once more, waiting for the chaos above to deepen. They've survived the first counterstrike and learned from it, but they've also revealed something dangerous. These aren't toys anymore. They're predators. And now every Russian radar operator in the region knows it. The lieutenant in the Pantsir truck stares at his screen in disbelief. A moment ago, he had 12 perfect contacts. Now, there's nothing, just static. He toggles filters, adjusts frequencies, hits the console in frustration. Nothing. To his system, the drones have literally ceased to exist, but they haven't vanished. They've evolved. The Ukrainian AI has just pulled a move straight from the world of electronic warfare, the beam maneuver. By flying perfectly perpendicular to the radar's beam, the drones erase their own velocity signature. To the radar, they appear motionless, filtered out as part of the bridge's structural clutter. It's digital invisibility. Then the AI executes a second layer of deception. The lead drone emits a focused X-band noise burst, scrambling the Pantsir's sensors with a wave of white static. The lieutenant's screen turns blindingly bright, the electronic equivalent of a flashbang to the brain. Completely blind and deaf, the Russians are left firing at shadows. Meanwhile, under the bridge, the Ukrainian AI calculates its next move with machine precision. It's not panicking, it's thinking. Within seconds, it determines there's a 97% probability the Russian convoy will remain stuck for at least 5 minutes due to tire failures and panic braking. That's all it needs. Instead of pressing the attack, the drones re-enter stealth mode, hugging the bridge's underbelly once again. They'll wait. They'll let the Russians choke on their own confusion before finishing the job. The plan is back on track, but the reprieve won't last because far above the battlefield, someone much more dangerous has just joined the game. 70 miles away, circling at 30,000 feet, a new player comes online, the bereaved A-50. If the Pantsir was a guard with a flashlight, the A-50 A-50 is the Stadium Floodlight, a flying radar fortress capable of tracking hundreds of targets at once. Its Schmelem radar doesn't care about clutter, terrain, or beam maneuvers. It doesn't see noise, it sees everything. From the clouds above, the drone's faint heat signatures burn bright against the cold concrete of the bridge. There's nowhere left to hide. The A-50 relays its data to every Russian air defense system in range, including the S-400 long-range missile battery 50 miles away. Inside the Pantsir, the lieutenant's screen clears. Suddenly, the chaos is gone. In its place, a single, perfect target track blinks to life. The ghosts are visible again. And this time, they're not alone. The S-400's computer has locked on too. Then the dreaded words flash across the Ukrainian operator's console. Launch warning. S-400 active. A missile built to destroy supersonic fighter jets is now hunting $600 drones. The Ukrainian operator exhales slowly. The drones can't outrun it. At Mach 12, nothing can. But inside the AI's neural core, there's no fear, only data and a plan. The system triggers Protocol Omega 7, a pre-programmed contingency for exactly this nightmare scenario.